General Hospital spoilers and updates reveal the possibility of a GA star in the White House in the next presidential election. Stephen A. Smith, who plays Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, West Coast enforcer Brick, says he seriously has to consider running for president. Stephen A. Smith, a recurring player on the ABC soap since 2016, has been outspoken about politics for many years, often criticizing both Republicans and Democrats. Recently, there has been buzz on social media about the possibility of him running for president in 2028. In February, he mentioned that he might consider a political run someday, but by March, his agent stated he would not be pursuing the presidency. However, this changed last week when he indicated that he wasn't dismissing the idea. On Sunday, April 13, he appeared on ABC's This Week with Jonathan Karl. The soap opera actor/ESPN sports announcer expressed that he now felt compelled to think about it because of the strong support from his followers. Smith stated, "I feel I have no option because I've had elected officials approach me, and I won't disclose their names." He mentioned that various individuals, including pundits and wealthy billionaires, have discussed exploratory committees with him, clarifying, "I'm not a politician and have never wanted to be one." He shared a personal story, saying, "The truth is, people have approached me, even my own pastor, who told me, 'You don't know what God has in store for you.'" He emphasized the importance of respecting those who believe in you and think you can make a difference in the country. He suggests it's wise to keep the door open for future opportunities in the next 2 to 3 years. "That's the path I've chosen." Smith might gain some experience in real politics if Brick ever becomes involved in the fictional political scene of Port Charles. Right now, the show features 3 key political figures: Laura Collins, Jenny Francis as the mayor, Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson as a congressman, and newcomer Ezra Boyle, Daniel Cosgrove as a councilman. They are all competing for waterfront land owned by Sonny, while Brick occasionally shows interest in Deputy Mayor Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper. If Smith decides to run for president, he wouldn't be the first television personality from a soap opera to do so. In 2005, President Donald Trump made a cameo as himself on Days of Our Lives alongside Ariane Zucker, Nicole Walker. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with GH right now. Come back here often for General Hospital spoilers, news, and updates. In one of the wildest twists to hit Port Charles, on screen and off, Stephen A. Smith, beloved ESPN personality, and the actor behind the shady yet smooth character Brick, has thrown out a shocking idea. He might just run for president. Of course, it wasn't a campaign announcement on the steps of City Hall, but in a recent fiery interview, Smith hinted that with the state of the country, and maybe the chaos brewing in Port Charles, he feels like he has no choice but to step up and take the lead. Fans of General Hospital have long known that Brick operates behind the scenes, assisting Sonny Corinthos with surveillance, security, and the kind of quiet power moves that keep the Dom on top. But Smith's recent comments blurred the line between reality and fiction, suggesting that maybe Brick has bigger aspirations than just handling burner phones and tracing enemies. Could the soap star/sports analyst be teasing something bigger? Maybe even a storyline that catapults Brick into the political arena? Here's what we know, what Stephen A. Smith said, and what this could mean for GH and beyond. Stephen A. Smith is no stranger to making headlines, but during a candid segment of his podcast, The Stephen A. Smith Show, the GH actor took fans by surprise when he said, "Sometimes I sit back and think, maybe I've got to run for president. Because if I don't, who will?" That wasn't a joke. He followed it up with a passionate rant about leadership, accountability, and the state of affairs both in real life and in the kinds of stories we see on TV. Whether it's in Washington or in Port Charles, he continued, "You've got to have someone in charge who knows what they're doing, who's not afraid to make hard choices. And honestly, that might have to be me." Cue jaws dropping everywhere. Was he serious? Half serious? Teasing a General Hospital plot? Or just being classic Stephen A., leaning into the drama? Either way, the internet exploded, and so did the imaginations of GH fans who started wondering, what would a President Brick actually look like? In the soap world, anything is possible. We've seen amnesia, doppelgangers, ghost returns, and even microchip brain implants. So, why not a presidential run? What if General Hospital ran with Smith's real-world comments and brought them into the storyline? Brick has always been one of Sonny's most trusted allies, working in the shadows with a cool demeanor and deep loyalty. He's the kind of guy who handles problems before they ever reach the surface. But what if Brick decides he wants more? It wouldn't be that hard to imagine a GH arc where Brick starts getting pulled into the public eye. Maybe someone notices how effective and level-headed he is, especially compared to the chaos that surrounds Sonny and his enemies. Maybe the city of Port Charles is desperate for change, not just in its mob scene, but in politics too. After all, with Laura out of the mayor's office and chaos running rampant, someone has to step up. Could Brick become the face of a local political revolution? What if his run for mayor, or even governor, starts in Port Charles and snowballs into national attention? The same way his real-life counterpart dominates sports commentary with confidence and passion, Brick could become the unlikely leader that everyone needs but never saw coming. Of course, nothing in Port Charles comes without consequences. If Brick suddenly steps into the spotlight, it could put him, and Sonny, in danger. Being on the front lines of politics would shine a spotlight on his past dealings with the mob. It would also complicate his loyalty to Sonny. Would Brick cut ties to protect his campaign? Or would he try to run for office while secretly maintaining his connections to the Corinthos organization? It's the perfect setup for drama. Imagine Sonny feeling betrayed, Jason getting caught in the middle, Carly suspicious of Brick's motives. Even Ava could try to manipulate the situation, backing Brick for her own reasons while spinning chaos behind the scenes. And let's not forget someone like Jagger Cates, who's already investigating Sonny. He'd jump at the chance to drag Brick through the mud if it meant landing a major takedown. And then there's Dex. What if he sees Brick's political rise as a threat or an opportunity? Stephen A. Smith's portrayal of Brick is more than just a fun cameo, it's a labor of love. The ESPN host has said repeatedly how much he loves General Hospital and appreciates being part of the cast. Brick may not appear every day, but every time he does, he commands attention. In interviews, Smith often speaks with the kind of fire and intensity that rivals any dramatic soap monologue. His thoughts on leadership and responsibility aren't just for show. They come from a deep place. He's been vocal about wanting to inspire people and about how the media, politics, and entertainment all shape the world around us. So when he says he feels like he has to run for president, it might not be about actually filing the paperwork. It might be a call to action, a way of saying that somebody needs to care. Somebody needs to take control, and maybe, just maybe, that somebody could also exist inside Port Charles. Stranger things have happened on soaps, and GH is no stranger to blurring the lines between fiction and real life. Bringing in real-world inspiration and adapting it into the show could make for riveting TV. Imagine this. Stephen A. Smith could even deliver a chilling, iconic campaign speech right on the GH set. In a world full of snakes, you need someone who isn't afraid to strike back. The crowd roars, and somewhere in the background, Cyrus Renault watches, smiling darkly, already planning his next move. Whether Stephen A. Smith actually runs for president in real life, don't count on it. Or whether Brick decides to take the reins in Port Charles, one thing is clear. The idea of President Brick has caught fire. It's funny, it's bold, but it also says something deeper. People want leadership. They want characters who stand for something. And they want to be entertained by people who walk the line between good and bad, order and chaos, power and purpose.